so many guys out there that still want to beat Scat Packs with their 4.62 valve without doing nothing. It's impossible, bro. Let me ask you this question. Do you know your enemy?
Well.
Do you know how much does it weigh?
Well.
Do you know the engine displacement and how much horsepower does it have?
Nah.
Do you know what gearing does it have in the transmission, 8-speed or 10?
Ooh.
Is your plan with your 4.62 valve? Tell me, what is it? Do you know the weakness of the engine as far as making performance? What is it? Do you know? So you know what is going to be one of the other problems with your Crown Victoria, why it's not going to have enough spunk? It's going to be this 4-speed automatic. $14.03 for the Crown Victoria. That is pretty daggone good, going up an incline. That's not bad. Now, let's check out a SRT Jeep. No matter which Crown Victoria you have, your 4-speed automatic is just a dud, bro. You cannot go against an 8-speed, 400 and something horsepower SRT. It's just not going to happen. You can add a 5-speed to your situation, right? Or a 6-speed, right? And guess what? It'll be fun. But really, even in this, or with that, I should say, an 8-speed automatic that they got now, man. But I'm going to tell you the number one thing that's really going to be choking your Crown Victoria, and it's going to be this head right here. Yes, your 2-valve head. It's going to do nothing for you. Do you know that the K20 head, you know, the swap that everybody's doing on YouTube from Honda, right? In stock form, it flows 290 CFM, all right? Now, you think about this head right here. This is your 2-valve. Your 2-valve is flowing somewhere around 160 CFM. Now, with your 4-valve, 03 to 04, is flowing somewhere around 233. And then your 3-valve, right, is flowing somewhere around 223. Right? Now, you got your Coyote, and if any of you guys got a Coyote out there, you know how much that's flowing. Somewhere around 285 to 290 CFM. Somewhere close into the VTEC area of the K-Series Honda head. But now, 2011 SRT, or you want to call it that Apache head or whatever they got going on, the Apache engine or whatever it is, right? Yo. It flows 340 CFM. You can't play with that. And that's in stock form. Everything that I just mentioned, stock. You cannot battle that, bro. See the ports on this thing here, man? It's just, it looks good. It looks pretty because I cleaned it up and everything like that. But guess what, man? This ain't going to do nothing for nobody as far as performance. You can add a cam to it, and guess what? Yeah, that'll just do just nicely. But still, man, your ports are still sucky. You know what I mean? You just need something else. That's why Koenigsegg CC8S used a Ford modular engine in 2002. It was a 4.7 supercharged. Being a beginning company, it made sense to use the Ford modular engines. But Koenigsegg knew over time it would have to make changes to the engine. To improve the performance to where Koenigsegg needed to go, the existing 4.7 modular engine just will not do. They went from a supercharged setup to a twin turbo setup. They maxed out the modular engine's internals. They could not get a clean burning high performance engine from the stock Ford casting. To achieve performance at the levels that Koenigsegg needed to go, the 4.7 engine became drag car like because it needed race gas to perform at high levels, and you cannot have a super hypercar acting like a drag car running race gas. But it's all right here. This is the problem with our cars, the 2-valves. If you're doing some performance stuff, this is going to be the weakest link of everything. These heads. The reason why I was explaining that Koenigsegg part is that I wanted to let you guys know that it's possible to do it with this engine. Aesthetically, it's a 4.6 double overhead cam engine, but internally it's quite different. But you can still pull out enough horses to be able to beat a SRT. But the secret sauce, I think, and it's just a theory that I have, is going to be that 6-speed transmission. They don't have a gizmo to run the 10-speed, but they do got the gizmo to run the 6-speed. And I think after you lighten up the Crown Vic just a little bit more, because the Crown Vic is lighter than the SRT. Now, just imagine one of these beating the SRT. That would be kind of cool. And it's quite possible because this weighs somewhere around 3,700 pounds. So with the less weight here and to get a good, decent engine, not with the 4.6 double overhead cam alone, that would probably need a turbo or something to add some horsepower. But if you had something maybe like a Coyote, this is probably the only way you would probably beat an SRT in this form. Maybe. Now, let's move on with this right here. Now, you guys all know about this engine inside of this car. No need to have an introduction on this. But for some who have not seen this, well, this is my 4.6 double overhead cam from an Aviator. Then I installed it inside of my 96 Aero Crown Victoria with no new wire harness. I'm running the same existing wire harness and the computer to it, which is giving me a little headache. Now, along with this, we used a Mach 1 intake. Then, here's the problem today that we're trying to solve. I have this intake right here that I installed on this, right? It's cool, it fits nice, but here's the problem. It sits right there. Now, what I did was I went and I bought a Mach 1 situation, right? It has this little big old thing on there and it goes down to here. Now, the problem that I'm having is that a lot of these hoses and this is an AC line, see? I really can't move it because I do have AC on this car and I'm trying to utilize the AC as I'm doing this engine here. Still have a problem when I turn the AC, the car dies too. So, you know, I got to still figure out all of that. But besides all of that, right, went to Home Depot and I went and I got me an elbow and I shaved it down and everything like that. And this is the result of the situation. This right here, it fit pretty good. And this clamp right here, right, that is from the Home Depot, is better than any car clamp out there. This double thing, I'm about to go and get me a fleet of these. These actually are better than, let's say, stuff less like that. So now you can fit this thing in here, right? Boom, it goes in there real sweet. This, you can turn it down or something like that, and boom, it's tucked away. Now we have this other situation here. When you come from the side now, it's still high. It seems higher. This is tucked away down here, but right here in the middle is still, we still have a situation because all of these lines and stuff are in the way. Now, I got to go ahead and try to figure out how to finagle all of that and see what I can come up with and see if I can get it down just a little bit lower. But really, how to really do it is to take the AC out. But in a car like that over there, right, it won't have a problem. And all of the whales, it wouldn't have an issue because the AC line is totally different. It's kind of set up different. So let me go ahead and figure this out. Boom, we got this thing installed. Check it out. It looks pretty daggone decent until you get to here. But right there, it's all good. Now, if you take a side view of this, right, the only thing you're going to see is going to be that bump. You see that part right there? That's a no good thing. So the hood, when it closes, it sits right on top of this. I know how to deal with that, and that's what we're going to deal with it on another video. Not in this one, because what I'm doing behind the scenes on this video here is messing with this bike here. Now, it has the exhaust on it, has a battery onto it. Hey, all right, I'll tell you where we at with it right now. Key doesn't work like it normally should, so you got to go over here and does it like this. But the engine's probably cold. Let me see something. All right, so we've gotten that running, but that was not easy. In another video, I'm going to tell you in detail what it took me to get that to that point. Now, I'm happy as heck, man, because I got that thing running, man, and you know what? It's crazy that it is running. Now, behind the scenes, man, I'm going through a lot of little different changes in my life, like many of you guys out there, man. You know what I mean? I am trying to be a better person, a better husband, a better father, a better friend. I'm just trying to be an all-around better person because, you know, some days, man, it gets to be too much. You know what I mean? When you sit down with your kid and you're wondering, you're like, God dang it, man, I ain't never talked to this kid. How old is he? And you know that you're like, yo, as a father, you done effed up, bro. So now, when I'm working on these bikes and everything and cars and stuff, man, and I'm making things happen, man, it starts to reflect on what I'm not working on in my home. You see, when I grew up, right, you have your father inside the house, but he's really not there, and you promise yourself when you have kids you ain't going to do the same thing. Well, I did the same thing. Minus the alcohol and the yelling and stuff, right? Yeah, I'm not doing that. But everything else I am doing. Subconsciously, you mimic what you see. That's what we don't understand as humans, you know what I mean? So right now, man, I'm trying to break the cycle, and I'm working on a lot of things. And these cars, you know, building junk cars, because a lot of people laugh at me for building junk bikes, junk cars and everything. They're like, why don't you just start with something that's good? Well, deep down, man, in my psyche, I'm trying to repair things. Repair cars, repair home, repair life, repair your soul. That's what I'm doing, man. You know what I mean? And I ain't really mean to take it to that level, but this is what's going on with me. You know what I mean? I don't know if you guys are having trouble or any issues out there, man. You just talk to God sometimes, man, and he'll give you the way on where you need to go. You know what I mean? God's helped those who help themselves. So you got to help yourself just a little bit, and he'll take care of the rest once you start moving your feet a little bit. You know what I mean? If you're moving your feet a little bit, man, he'll get a nice little gust of wind to push you along to ease the pain sometimes. I thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Build Something TV, man. Hope you guys were enlightened, and thank you for just checking out the video. If you fast forward through the video, man, I do appreciate it. If you guys didn't really get the gist of the head situation that I was speaking about, but really, it's really simple, man. The head design is always the problem with a low horsepower car. It's economically better, but as far as horsepower, it may not be eco-friendly. You get what I'm saying? That's how it works. Because sometimes with these cars that have these high horsepower engines, they have an eco-friendly safe mechanism built in that shuts down the cylinders. Thus, it can pass it on through. You know what I'm talking about, Chevy guys. You know what I'm talking about, Dodge guys. That's why you're able to have these high horsepower cars, because you can have these couple of cylinders break down, and it's eco-friendly, it says. So we'll see you guys on the next one, where I go back and I explain how I got this bike to run.